Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my August TBR. So I'm going to be talking to you about all of the books that I am planning on reading in August. And this is going to be a pretty long list. It is the final month in the Summer of Swoon readathon. So I am going to just be kind of talking about all of the books that I have yet to get to on my Summer of Swoon TBR. And hopefully I can read all of these books so I can complete all of the prompts. Honestly, it wasn't supposed to be where you complete every single prompt on all three. You could if you wanted to, and I decided that I wanted to, so I am completing all 3 pages of prompts, or like boards of prompts, because each board had 25 prompts on it, and so I'm trying to complete all 3, which gives you a grand total of 75. So over the last 3 months I've been trying to read 75 books to complete every single prompt for Summer of Swoon. So basically I'm just going to be talking about the books that I'm planning on reading for this final stretch of Summer of Swoon, plus a couple of other books that I'm going to be talking about as well that I'm planning on reading. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those ones first, and those books are going to be books for book club. So if you guys don't know, I am a co-host for a book club called Booked Since the 90s, and we have taken a little break over the summer just because we've all just been kind of busy, but we have decided to start back up our book club. And so the first book that we are planning on reading for the month of August is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and this is a dark academia book where they have like powers and there's like the society and things like that. So I'm super excited to get to this one. I've heard nothing but great things about this, and I cannot wait to dive into this. The next book is for the Confused Queens book club, hosted by my friends Tori, Sarah, and Nikki. And for their book pick for August, they will be reading Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. So I'm going to be reading this along with them and hopefully participating in their live show whenever they have that to discuss this book. So super excited to get to this one. This has literally been all over social media everywhere, so super excited to get to this one. And so next I'm going to be talking about the remaining books in my Summer of Swoon TBR. There are a total of 28 books on my Summer of Swoon TBR that I have left to read to meet all 75 prompts. So hopefully I can read these 28 books in the next month. So with that being said, I'm going to tell the name of the book and what prompt it's for. I'm not gonna get super into synopses, but yeah. So the first book that I'm planning on reading in August is Throttled by Lauren Asher, and this fits the prompt Grumpy Sunshine. I did originally have this for a different prompt, but I did hear recently that this is Grumpy Sunshine, and I didn't really want to read the book that I originally had for Grumpy Sunshine, so I did switch some things around, and now I will be reading Throttled for this prompt. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Lucy Checks In, and this fits the prompt vacation or travel romance, and I believe this is just about a girl who goes abroad on a vacation or something like that. I'm not sure, but the cover is super cute and I'm super excited to read this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading in August is Collided by Lauren Asher, and this fits the prompt author wreck. And Lauren Asher, literally, she's been recommended everywhere that I've seen. I even recommend her myself. I read the Dreamland Billionaires series. I read the first 2 books last month and absolutely loved them, so I just knew, not to mention I've been seeing her literally everywhere, so I figured this would be perfect for author rec. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Love on the Brain by Hazelwood, and this fits the prompt author with 5 or less published books, and this will be Hazelwood's 5th published book, so I'm super excited to read this one. I do actually have an ARC of this, so I will be reading the ARC before it comes out, but I will also be buying the book and getting it as soon as it comes out because I love Hypothesis and I cannot wait to read this book. The next book that I'm planning on reading in August is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, and this fits the prompt cover model has long hair, and obviously even though this is an illustrated cover, the girl has really long hair, so I figured that this would fit for this prompt. I actually have started this book. I am currently on page 23, so I'm super excited to to read some more of this. As we all know, I'm a Tessa stan and will literally buy anything that she writes, so super excited to finish reading this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading for the month of August is Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy, and this fits the prompt spring 2022 release. I have read a few things about Elle Kennedy. I've read the Deal, or like the off-campus series by Elle Kennedy, and really loved it, but I have actually heard some very mixed things about this book, that a lot of people have not really liked it, and I'm wondering if it's because it's traditionally published, and with traditionally published books there are a lot more parameters and guidelines that authors follow when writing a traditionally published book, and since The Deal was originally an indie published book, it didn't have those same guidelines and things like that. So I wonder if that's kind of what is like making it not as popular, but I'm super excited to read this and find out what I think about it and see my thoughts on it and see if I love it or if I hate it. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Wrecked by Lauren Asher. This is the third book in the Dirty Air series, and this fits the prompt enemies to lovers. And this has like, I know I said I wasn't gonna go into synopses, but this has like where he has to have a like babysitter of sort, and I really like that trope where she has to like look after him or whatever. There's like a babysitter type deal where one character is trouble and the other one has to like be a good influence on them, and so I'm super excited to read this and I hope I love it. So the next book that I'm planning on reading is American Queen by Sierra Simone, and this fits the prompt trope or subgenre out of your comfort zone. And so there aren't really a lot of romance tropes or subgenres that are out of my comfort zone, but one that I'm not necessarily like prone to reading is love triangle, and I believe this book has a love triangle in it, and I don't read those all that often, so I definitely do feel like they are more out of my comfort zone. I don't really gravitate towards love triangles, so I figured this would be the perfect book to fit this prompt. P.S. sorry about my shirt. My hair is wet. I just braided it out the shower, so sorry about the wet hair on my shirt, so just please ignore that. The next book that I'm planning on reading is From the Jump, and this fits the prompt orange on the cover, and I don't really know what this is about, but it has orange on the cover, so hopefully I like it. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. Next we have Say Yes, and this fits the prompt set in summer, and I've been trying to read this book since like June, so hopefully I get to it in August. And yeah, the next book that I'm planning on reading is American Royalty, and this fits the prompt summer 2022 release, and this book I believe just came out like last week whenever I was filming this, so I'm super excited to get to this one. I think it's very much like a rock star or like famous girl with the prince of some country and they get together type of thing, and I'm super excited to read this one and I just cannot wait. Next we have Booked on a Feeling by J.C. Lee, and this fits the prompt published in July, and this book just came out in late July, so I'm super excited to get to this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Make It Sweet by Kristen Callahan, and this fits the prompt romance. Shelby's rated 4 or 5 stars, and I believe Shelby rated this one a 5-star. I don't remember, but I do think that this is like a sports romance. I have read a couple of Kristen Callahan's sports romances before, so if this is a sports romance then I know that I'm going to really like it, so I cannot wait to get to this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Dark Russian Angel by Odette Stone, and this fits the prompt photo cover, and there's like a man on the cover, so I figured this one would fit. I have read some books by Odette Stone in the past and I really enjoyed them, so I'm super excited to read her like mafia romance, so I'm super excited to get to this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Rush by Candy Steiner, and this fits the prompt. Cover model has short hair and there is a guy with short hair on the cover, so I figured it's perfect. I believe this is a college romance about Greek life, so I'm super excited to get to this one. I've heard it's very like reality show type vibes, so I'm super excited to read it. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Redeemed by Lauren Asher, and this fits the prompt favorite trope or subgenre. So this is the 4th book in the Dirty Air series, and the Dirty Air series is a sports romance, and sports romance is one of my favorite subgenres, so I am super excited to get to this one. Yes, I did make it to where I could fit this whole series into my TBR because I just knew that I was going to want to binge read this whole series, so I'm super excited to get to these. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and this fits the prompt two people on the cover. There is a girl and a guy on the cover, and they are like embracing, and I'm super excited to read this one. I believe it is about like horse racing maybe, and it's small town, so I'm super excited to get to this book. The next book that I'm planning on reading is The Summer Proposal, and this fits the prompt set in summer, and again, this is one that I've been trying to read since June, so hopefully I can get to this one and read it in August. The next book that I'm planning on reading is The Fixer Upper, and this fits the prompt summer 2022 release, and I haven't really heard much about this, but I believe it's a workplace romance, and I'm super excited to read this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Addicted for Now, and this is the third book in the Addicted series, and this fits the prompt indie romance. However, I'm not sure if this still classifies as an indie romance, considering these have been bought to be published by like Berkeley, I believe, so they're in the works of becoming traditionally published, but for the sake of this TBR indie romance, we're gonna stick with it. So super excited to get to this. I have been slowly making my way through the Addicted series, and this is the third book, and I'm super excited to get to this one. This one is pretty thick. I believe it's around 500 pages, over 500 pages, 541 pages, so I'm super excited to get to this. I have been absolutely loving Lily and Lo, and I cannot wait to continue on, read the Calloway sister series, and just, yeah, I'm loving it. The next book that I'm planning on reading is That Second Chance, and this fits the prompt favorite author, and as you guys know, Megan Quinn is one of my favorite authors, and this is one of her books. I have been slowly making my way through her backlist, so I'm super excited to read this book. The next book that I'm planning on reading is A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver, and this is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and this fits the prompt, a book Shelby's recommended before, and she has recommended this on her Instagram, so I'm super excited to read this book. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Does It Hurt by H.G. Carlton, and this fits the prompt, Bookster Wreck, and this book recently just came out, and I have been seeing this everywhere all over my Instagram. I have heard a lot of good things about this book, and I'm super excited to read this. I do know that this is a dark romance book, so if you are planning on checking this book out, make sure to check the trigger warnings. This is also the author of the Cat and Mouse duet, which is Haunting and Haunting Adeline, and if you know anything about those books, definitely go into this one with a little bit of caution. So yeah, super excited to read this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Dream On, and this fits the prompt, author with less than 10 published books. So I believe this is going to be similar to Lease on Love, so I'm super excited to read this one, because if you didn't know, I absolutely love Lease on Love and would recommend that to literally everyone. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Built to Last, and this fits the prompt, second chance romance, and I do have an arc of this one, so it is coming out a little bit later in the year. I believe it comes out in October. I will hopefully be reading this in the month of August, and I'm super excited to get to this one. The next book that I'm planning on reading is Country Nights, and this fits the prompt, animal lover main character, and this prompt was so hard to find books for, and I just don't even know what this book is really even about. I believe one of the main characters is a vet, and so I had no idea. I was looking on Shelby's Instagram, and I believe she suggested this one as one for animal lover main character, so I'm just gonna go with it. The next book that I'm planning on reading is By a Thread by Lucy Score, and this is the prompt 2020 release. I do not really know what this one is about, but I loved Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, so I'm super excited to read some more of her books, and hopefully I like this one just as much. And we have made it to the final book on this list, and that is going to be Juniper Hill by Devaney Perry, and this fits the prompt, favorite trope or subgenre, and I found out very recently that I am a small town girly. I love books set in small towns. I don't know why I was avoiding them before, but I literally love it, and this book is definitely set in a small town, and I love this series. It is a romantic suspense series, and it's just literally everything, so I cannot wait to pick this up. And yeah, all right, so that is all 28 books that I'm planning on reading for Summer Swoon, plus the 2 books that I'm planning on reading for the book clubs that I want to participate in, and so that makes 30 books. That is 30 books 2 months in a row that I wanted to read, so we will see if I can read all of them. I have some hopes. I have high hope for the month of August. I am planning on hosting a 24-hour readathon, and I just feel like August is gonna be a good month. It's my birthday month. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to just read in August. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel. You don't have to. It would be awesome if you did though. I will have all of my social medias linked in the description if you want to follow me or be friends. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.